Good morning, Vaqueros. Today is Monday, March 24th, and it is currently 88 degrees. We're coming to you from our Edinburgh studio. I'm Joseph Zambrano.
And I'm Victoria Gonzalez.
And this is Vaquero News.
Campus news,
events, games,
and activities
all in one place.
This is Vaquero Radio,
the Val's student station.
Monday and Wednesday at 11 a.m.
Vaquero Radio,
where
your story begins.
March is Women's History Month, and UTRGV held an event to celebrate it. Here is Celeste Cruz with the story.
There's just so many women that have contributed so much to our community, so today we are celebrating that.
The Center for Student Involvement Cultural Programs held a Women's History Month celebration to honor women who have shaped the world, March 12 on the Edinburgh campus. The event gave students the opportunity to meet women who are lawyers, entrepreneurs, and business owners from the Rio Grande Valley. Center for Student Involvement employee Yamile Ramos said the celebration highlights the achievements of women.
This event is to highlight all the women from our university, to highlight their achievements, and to also empower them.
She explained how the Center for Student Involvement was able to invite special guests to UTRGV.
We try to look for women from the area, from the RGV, that have great achievements, that have businesses, and they're all women-owned, and then we send them a message to see if they want to participate, to come share their journey and how their experience has been.
President of the Intersectional Feminist Student Organization, Cindy Ruiz, said the event is also inclusive to men.
That people understand that this event is not only like welcoming women, it also welcomes like our men or our male audience as well.
Personal injury attorney Leah Wise owns her own law firm in McAllen. She said women helped pave the way to her success.
There are so many women trailblazers who, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be a lawyer today, and I wouldn't be successful as an attorney if there wasn't women who were brave enough to be the first woman in their law school class.
She said she faced many obstacles during her time in law school.
I had student debt, so I had to get over that, and that took several years. I didn't always believe in myself, being criticized by my colleagues, being criticized by male attorneys, telling me I couldn't be a personal injury lawyer. So I've had to overcome a lot of obstacles, and a lot of time it took me being my own biggest supporter and just pushing through.
This is Celeste Cruz for Vaquero Radio.
A suicide attempt survivor shared a story of recovery, giving those struggling with mental health a voice of hope. Victoria Gonzalez shared the story.
Thank you all so much for your time.
Pablo Campos was a high school senior at the time when he attempted to take his own life after turning to substance abuse as a way to cope with deep-seated anger and frustration. Campos was born in the United States to his Guatemalan parents. He said he grew up without exposure to mental health discussions despite a family history of depression, addiction, and anxiety. Struggling to balance both Guatemalan and American cultural expectations, Campos lacked healthy coping mechanisms and turned to substance abuse, eventually attempting to take his own life in high school. After multiple unsuccessful inpatient treatments, Campos was diagnosed with ADHD, which led to proper treatment and recovery. Now, he speaks openly about the challenges of stigma and lack of education, emphasizing how a strong support network helped him transition from self-destruction to active recovery. Campos recalled feeling deep anger as a child in kindergarten, but those built-up emotions progressively grew stronger in elementary school as a fourth grader.
I noticed that was me hiding the emotions, but having them was almost my whole life. I just don't think I noticed it, right? I don't think I paid attention to it, and that's part of kind of what I'm referring to, is just noticing kind of how some of those come up, how they affected my body, and how I would really feel them came later in life.
But external factors caused Campos to have racing thoughts that were self-critical of himself. Majority of these thoughts told him he was not good nor doing enough as a person.
So I think that's how, in some of the pressures and stressors that I felt, some of the thoughts kind of took that tone as well and started to really affect me. It's like carrying an extra weight, right? It was really hard to know what to do with them, to tell somebody else about them, to, manage them. I didn't do any of that. I was keeping it all into myself and felt like nobody could understand me either.
Campos said comparing one's own mental issues to other people's struggles can be a negative mindset, but it's also natural. He added the only way to avoid comparing yourself to others is complete isolation. But the real question is how much that comparison affects someone and how much power they give it. For Campos, his depressive symptoms played a role, convincing himself that others had it worse, which made him feel like he couldn't speak up because someone else was facing something even more difficult.
That's kind of like a defense mechanism, is my mind trying to tell me that it's not worthwhile, that it doesn't matter, that it's somebody else is more important. What I was telling myself was not fully a reality, right? It was important and it did matter, but you have to kind of relearn how to interact with some of that.
A common myth often repeated by older generations is that mental illness didn't exist, but Campos said it is because they weren't aware of it because people didn't talk about it. Unfortunately, this mindset can make it harder for younger generations to seek help because it reinforces stigma.
There's no way that it's that big of a difference, right? I think there's more to it than that. It's more complex than that. So I think it's important to recognize it did happen then, just like it's happening now. It happens in a different way. Things change all the time. I think it's important to know that that can be invalidating for someone to hear that and may discourage someone from seeking help.
The biggest part of coping with Campos' mental health issues was leaning heavily on drugs and alcohol. But when he stopped relying on substances, Campos had to establish new coping strategies and social techniques, which he said was hard for him.
But it overall helped because it was a variable that was making my symptoms worse. It was making me more depressed. It was increasing my anxiety. I was in denial about it too, but it helped a lot when I stopped.
Campos said it's important for those struggling to know they're not alone and there is hope. People don't have to struggle in silence and can talk to someone and access resources. He said it's normal to feel misunderstood or that overcoming mental challenges may seem impossible, but support is out there.
It's worth the fight, for sure, because you're fighting for yourself, for your future, and there's no perfect time. People want to wait and try later or do something else, but it's just something you got to start and get going.
Today, Campos is a licensed clinical social worker and addiction specialist associate. He is also a clinician at the North Carolina State University Counseling Center. It's been 16 months since Campos maintained sobriety. This is Victoria Gonzalez for Vaquero Radio. The UTRGV police held a news conference regarding spring break safety. Here is Celeste Cruz with the details.
Injury of life or the cause of life is one of the biggest issues that we see.
The UTRGV Police Department held a spring break safety news conference about drunk driving and how to consume alcohol safely March 12 at the Plains Capital Bank Theater on the Edinburgh campus. UTRGV Sergeant Felipe Munoz said the purpose behind the event was to share safety tips for students to follow during spring break.
Some tips were given about, certain procedures that could be taken to be safe during the time off.
During the event, guest speaker Sean Carter shared his near-death experience as a passenger of a drunk driver. He said the police department is using Carter's story to promote being responsible when consuming alcohol.
We had a guest speaker speaking regarding an incident that he was involved in with driving while intoxicated. So really we're just out here pushing the message, letting people know that if you are going to drink, make sure to drink responsibly and have a plan.
He advised students to be responsible for their actions.
Just keep in mind that some actions do have not good consequences. So just be responsible, have a plan.
In the case of a situation where injury or death is involved, report it to the police. This is Celeste Cruz for Vaquero Radio.
And McLean goes up and throws down a monster dunk. That fires up the UTRGV field house.
And now time for Vaquero Sports.
The UTRGV drill team is getting ready to show its school spirit at events. Leonardo Guajardo has the details.
The first highly spirited UTRGV drill team in university history is ready to rally up the valley as football season approaches. Leading the team forward is senior captain Mark Anthony Grado. He is pursuing a Bachelor's of Arts degree in dance and plans to have his own high school dance and drill team. Grado's dance journey began in middle school, where he discovered his love and passion for dance within a year of joining the team. Now, he is ready to shape the future of the UTRGV drill team. Grado shared his gratitude for the opportunity of being able to dance at a collegiate level.
It's something that I've always wanted to do, especially because other drill teams in in the state of Texas are not male friendly. So being able to continue to still do what I love to do at a collegiate level where I can't go anywhere else and do really hit home, because I wanted to continue dancing after school, but in the way that I've always known dance, which was drill.
As part of a newly founded team, Grado spoke about the responsibilities he carries as captain.
It's a lot of responsibilities because it's a lot of work that you really have to be dedicated to do. Even as captain, we're making up choreography, we're finding music that we could dance to, what we can wear and what we shouldn't wear, and it's a lot of the background work that not a lot of people get to see.
With the first football season rapidly approaching, Grado shared the team visited other colleges' game days to get a sense of what techniques will be performed. He said although the team got to experience what a game day could look like, there's still some uncertainty of what to expect.
It's not confusing. It's just that I've never had a football season, so we don't know what we're walking into and we don't know what to expect. I'm hoping that, it's a fun-filled day with getting to see the community getting wild up and seeing the other spirit programs and the marching band itself come together.
As the team grows and welcomes new members, he said the sense of family only continues to strengthen.
The dynamic of the team just keeps on growing and growing. We are just one big family. We do many things together and we see each other 3 days out of the entire week. Hopefully with the spring tryout that we add more people, but we also keep growing as a family.
With the dance and cheer team representing UTRGV at competitions, he reflected on the idea for future drill competitions.
I think right now we're still trying to evolve, so I don't think that we would quickly be out on the competition floor like the dance team is, but hopefully soon.
The UTRGV drill team will continue to enhance its skills for future athletic and collegiate events. This is Leonardo Guajardo for Vaquero Radio.
Newton drops straight back towards a crossing route. McCaffrey, touchdown. That's big time.
Good morning, Vaqueros. Here's the sports schedule for this week. The men's tennis team will serve up a match against Nicholls State University Monday at 11 a.m. in Thibodaux, Louisiana. Later that day, the women's tennis team will also take on Nicholls State University at 2 p.m. in Thibodaux, Louisiana. The men's baseball team will compete against Texas Christian University at 6 p.m. in Fort Worth, Texas. Starting on Thursday, the men's and women's track and field team will take off to compete at the Bobcat Invitational in San Marcos, Texas. Don't forget to bring your student ID to all UTRGV games for free admission and support our student athletes by showing up. This is Leonardo Guajardo for Vaquero Radio.
And now for this week's events calendar.
What's up, Vaqueros? Let's check out all the fun events going on this week. Today, the tennis club will be having a club fundraiser near the library barbecue area from 12:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. On Wednesday, the Privé Society will be having a Tacos Retail fundraiser selling breakfast tacos near the library barbecue area from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Then on Thursday, the Korean International Student Society will be having a KISS fundraiser near the library from 10:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. That is the event calendar for this week, Vaqueros. Don't forget to bring your student ID to all UTRGV events. This is Ariana Gallardo for Vaquero Radio.
And now, for this week's campus weather report.
Hello Vaqueros, here's the weather forecast for this week. Today will be partly sunny skies with a high of 88 and a low of 63, followed by warmer temperature on Tuesday with highs reaching out 91 degrees. Wednesday temperatures will drop down to 83 and a low of 64 with sunny skies. Thursday will remain around 88 and a low of 66 with a few scattered clouds throughout the day. Expect a hot and mostly dry week. Remember to dress accordingly for these weather conditions. This is Alejandro Lopez for Vaquero Radio.
That is the newscast for this week.
Remember to read our news articles every week on our website, utrgvradio.com.
Remember to check out our YouTube channel for the latest news from UTRGV and the Valley.
Our weekly newscast will also be broadcast at 11 a.m. every Wednesday.
Join us next week, same time, same place.
Only on Vaquero Radio,
the Valley Student Station.
Thanks for tuning in, Vaqueros. Don't forget to saddle up every Monday and Wednesday at 11 a.m.
And remember, V's up!